Jas Ramirez here at the Marshalltown YMCA YWCA. We're here in our gymnasium, and I've got Gary Ross back here behind me on the scaffold, and Gary's our facility manager. He's up there working on a camera. We have some security cameras all around our building and in the gymnasium as well, so he's working on that. And he's also working on a project to get cameras in the gym in order for us to be able to stream events, stream basketball games, futsal games, practices, things like that. We are hoping that we can fundraise for that and be able to provide this experience for people who maybe aren't able to be here in person to watch their grandkids, or you know, maybe they're at home for a short period of time, maybe just the cold like we've had lately. They just don't want to come out. But we know that people need to connect in many ways, and through digital and video means is a great way that people are learning that they can stay connected with those that they love. So we are working on that project, and we hope to have that up and running soon. A couple other things that we have going on at the Y. We've got our annual state swim meet that we host for YMCAs around the state. So that's 25 YMCAs that will be here March 6th and 7th over the weekend. And of course, we'll do things a little bit differently this year as we have lately with just safety, and we'll space people out, and we'll not allow as many competitors at a time as we have in the past. But we know it's going to be a great event, a time when a lot of people come into our community, a time when we have a lot of volunteers and hands on deck. And the main goal is to make it a great experience for the kids, because we want swimming and athletics to be a lifelong joy for them, and hopefully they'll come back and bring their kids and grandkids to experience it as well. Finally, I just wanted to touch on some of the cleaning and sanitization that we've been doing here at the Y. We continue to maintain our practices of cleaning. You can see we've got somebody in here sanitizing the Y right now in the gym, and so we plan for breaks in between classes and programs so our staff can come in and do that. We encourage our participants and our members to come in when they're here and to use our spray bottles and to make sure that they're spacing themselves out. And then of course we're following any other safety protocols that are enacted in our area so that we can make sure it's a great experience for everybody. So you can see all this information on our website. It's www.ymca-ywca.org, or give us a call. It's 641-752-8658.
Today I have Mackenzie Stevens, who is the lead dietitian at our hospital here, which is UniPoint Health Marshalltown. I say it again, don't I, Mackenzie? Mackenzie, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy to have you here too. So the show's not totally by me, so that's always a good thing for the public. But anyway, you know, last week I talked about New Year's resolutions and how you know, healthy eating is kind of something that we resolve to do, but we don't always make it. But also healthy eating can actually be something that is enjoyable and good.
Yeah, it can be. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So, you know, we're talking about healthy weight and healthy eating. So a healthy weight is something that is actually, I talked to a really cool dietitian at one time, and she said that a healthy weight is actually, it's not aesthetics. It's health is what I'm trying to say. So I'm repeating the same thing, but you know, our weight is not aesthetics. It's not how we look. It's about being healthy.
Yep.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So going off of the New Year's resolutions, January is a popular month for everybody to be focusing on their health. We're nearing the end of the first month of the year, so hopefully everyone's still on track with those New Year's resolutions. But if not, it's not too late to start now. So I think in order to be successful with our New Year's resolutions, it's important to have a game plan as far as how we're going to go about achieving those New Year's resolutions. So having the basics down and knowing exactly what steps we're going to take to get to that desired result. So like you said, it's focusing on being healthy overall, so not just the weight. So that's what we're big on here at the dietitians here in Marshalltown. We're big on focusing healthy lifestyle choices to get to our end goal weight.
Well, you know, one thing about that is that it's, you know, we have lots of options for finding out what are healthy choices. And one is through a dietitian.
Yeah, exactly. We offer a variety of services here. We have a great dietitian team here. We have programs from accredited diabetes education program and individualized counseling sessions as well, and our new focus program, which emphasizes on healthy lifestyle choices through nutrition, physical activity, weight management, and just making those healthier choices overall.
So we do have a resource here, right here at the hospital, don't we?
Great dietitian team
Yes,
here, yeah.
Yes. So talking about, our healthy weights and our healthy choices, so what are the benefits lifelong for that?
So focusing now on making those healthy choices, like you said, will have benefits in the long run. So there's some strategies to that too. I'm not big on telling people that they can't have certain foods. The second you tell someone that they can't have those food items, they crave those particular foods all the more. So I'm big on saying focusing on those nutrient-dense foods and eating foods that you enjoy. Oftentimes when we think of healthy eating, we tend to restrict foods or food groups, and when we become too restrictive, those goals kind of fall off, and it's not long-term.
Fun, is it?
Yeah, and it's not a long-term sustainable plan if we are too restrictive with our intake. So.
Okay, so you talk about nutrient-dense foods. What is that?
Yep, so your whole foods, your fresh fruits and vegetables, your lean proteins, just focusing on getting all of those food groups in there. So,
So good choices for lean proteins would be?
your turkey, your chicken, nuts, those types of things, yeah.
So I'm going to ask this question because I do see that nuts are on the list. So do dry roasted peanuts, are those considered good for us?
It can be in moderation. I mean,
moderation,
you can't
okay.
overdo it on those peanuts, but and then watching the salt content of those too. Salt can get you in trouble in a lot of things too. So
Yes, okay. Okay, so like we were talking, eating healthy can actually be fun and interesting, and actually preparing food together or even by yourself, can be interesting and fun.
yeah, it can be. And a big component with that is meal planning and prep. So if we tend to plan our meals in advance for the week, saves us time in the long run, and also making grocery lists. Grocery lists before we go into the grocery store, that'll help us stay on track with our plans too. So sticking to that plan and just planning ahead.
Which is not always easy.
It's easier said than done, yes.
We actually are a society that, what am I going to have for supper tonight?
Yep,
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, so,
what we thought earlier in the week sounded good might not sound good on this day, so.
But, actually having that focus, though, does help us do a better job with meal planning, I've found.
Yep, and sticking with that plan.
Yes, exactly. And it might save you money.
Exactly.
Yes, of course. So, choices. We've talked about that as far as looking for fun recipes. Do you have anything in your head at all, or was this for another show?
We could probably get in more detail with that in another show, yes.
Yes, so.
It's a whole topic in itself.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. So, and we talked a little bit about your services here at UniPoint Health Marshalltown.
Yep.
And so you do inpatient care?
Yep, I do inpatients, and then I'll see a couple of outpatients. But yep, we have a outpatient dietitian primarily that focuses on that, and another dietitian that does the diabetes education programs. Two dietitians that do that program. But our new focus program has a recent name change. It was the weight loss clinic, but we wanted to focus on the whole aspect of everything that entails to being healthy.
So it's a new name.
Yep. New Focus, it's called.
Oh, New Focus.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
New Focus. It actually does have a new focus, so yeah.
Exactly. That's helpful. Yes. So if anybody needs to see Lindsay or has questions about dietitians, dietary care, or food choices, they're welcome to call the dietary department. Not dietary, but the dietitians.
Yep,
at
the
hospital.
dietitian's office. Yes.
Okay.
And we're more than happy to help.
Yes.
So.
And they're lovely people that we like seeing out and about.
I'm biased, but I feel like we have a good team. So
I think you do. So before we end the show, do you have a phone number that they could call you?
yeah, yes. We can be contacted through email, or our number is 641-854-7530. So
Okay.
we'll always have someone in the office to answer any questions, and feel free to ask away.
And learn about diabetic education programs and all kinds of healthy eating. How's that sound? Healthy
we
habits.
can address a wide range of topics.
Exactly. Okay, before we end the show, I really want to make sure that we talk about flu again, that it's still not too late to get your flu shot. It's very important. Flu is considered widespread through Iowa, and that's not surprising, especially when you listen to the news. So the most important thing you can do is, if you're feeling sick, is to stay home. It's actually, it's the best thing you can do to take care of other people, even if it's a cold, because the respiratory viruses that are running around this year feel to me like they're they're wiping us out just a little bit more than usual. It's not the old common cold where you didn't feel too bad, you could keep living your life and going to work. But I would stay home and also cover your cough and wash your hands, good hand washing. So today I want to talk to you about meningitis. Meningitis comes in two forms, viral and bacterial. And people who end up with viral meningitis may not even know they have it because they just feel like a prolonged cold. They just don't feel up to being themselves, and that's part of that. But when you have bacterial meningitis, it's a very serious illness. It's a very serious bacterial illness that requires immediate attention. And what that is viral meningitis, or excuse me, both of them are actually. Sorry, I can't do that. Okay, you just cut it. Okay. So. Both viral and bacterial meningitis cause inflammation of the lining of the brain and the spinal cord. And with bacterial meningitis, it's actually very dangerous, and it can lead to death or permanent disability. And it's not that common, but the germ is very common. And it usually affects younger people, such as infants and young adults and children. In the young adults, we try to vaccinate, such as I am so sorry.
That's all right.
I'm just jumping around. Read too much too soon. How's that sound? Too late. Okay. Well, anyway, so with bacterial meningitis, we really need to pay attention to that because it can be life-threatening and it can cause permanent disability, such as some hearing loss, and also could be loss of fingers, toes, or limbs. So it's very dangerous. So we actually have a new law in Iowa that requires that children entering 7th grade, all children, must have the Menactra before they start 7th grade. They can't even go to school. Public health has been very busy in the schools this last spring, vaccinating during registration and going to the schools at different times, making sure that we give all the make sure that people get the Menactra or meningococcal vaccine so they're ready to go to school. Also, 12th graders need the vaccine. They have to have proof of 2 doses before they can go to school in the fall in 12th grade. Now, and then another people that need the vaccine are those that are entering college and close settings, congregate settings like dormitories where they have more exposure to saliva and secretions like that. So we have the vaccine to give for that. Another thing you can do to protect yourself from getting meningitis is good hand washing. And I'm going to have to stop again, sorry. I'm really doing very bad at this today, but I promise to get better.
Fine.
Okay.
You haven't made a whole lot of work for me yet.
Not yet. So can you twist it around and move it
Oh,
around?
yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So, with meningitis, symptoms can be pretty abrupt, and that's why you need to pay attention to them. Can be nausea, vomiting, sensitivity to light, a stiff neck, a headache. And if you have a child or an adult and it's usually in children, that have those kind of symptoms, you need to really go to a healthcare provider right away. And when I do the reading, it says right away. So it's not something that you can put off to another day. So make sure that you have your child checked out if you have any kind of those symptoms. It's also important that we teach our children how to do good hand washing and how to protect themselves from getting the bacterial infection from another person, such as another child. And that would be, don't share your straws, don't share drinks, don't share food, eating utensils, and we know how hard that is. That with kids, that's what we do. Even grandmas eat off the eating utensils or take a sandwich from a child to take a bite when they offer it, or a cookie, because I've been known to do that myself. So we just really need to think about how we can protect people around us from meningitis. So one thing we're doing is we're teaching good hand washing. The next thing we're doing is vaccinating our children and getting them ready for school this next fall. I'm going to talk to you about resolutions. We know that we tend to think about them on January 1st, but life isn't always like that. And resolutions actually should be something that we can carry on through the whole year, and you can actually make them and break them and make new ones throughout the year. You know, it's not just a one-time thing. So I want to talk to you about resolutions, and one of the hints that I received from the Iowa Department of Public Health is actually just make one resolution. We don't have to have a whole list of them. Make one that's achievable, and actually think about how you can make this something that's measurable, achievable, and something that is in your best health benefits. Another thing they say is don't wait until New Year's Eve to make the resolution, even though we're past that now. It's something that we can kind of prepare ourselves for as we go along, and you know, see how we can make this work. So, and they also recommend that you have a partner, someone that you're accountable to. I know they say that you should tell everybody about it, but then you have to untell everybody. At least that's my experience. So it's a good idea to, you know, have a confidant that can actually help you to be responsible, but also someone that is forgiving and allows for those breaks. Remember, resolutions can be broken and a new day starts, and you can go ahead and take it up again, such as exercising. You know, we have a day where we just aren't, it's just too busy and we don't get our exercise in. That's something you can do, start up the next day, or have a plan for that. They say actually don't run with the crowd and don't have the resolution that everybody else has. You know, we all think about exercise and weight actually this time of year because we've just been through Thanksgiving and Christmas. I remember years ago a social worker said, starting at Halloween, with the candy and the food flow continues clear through Easter, and that's a long time to be on that kind of a rush of food and eating. So now's the time to start being reasonable in what we do, because you know, as well as I do, that we do know how to eat, and we do know how we feel if we eat too much or overeat, and we actually can control that most of the time. How's that sound? To stay motivated, make a checklist of what your resolutions are, or your resolution is, and how you're going to meet it. And also remember to give yourself a small reward or a large one when you've reached certain goals, and make sure those goals are attainable. And the idea is not to plan on losing all the weight that you need to lose. You know, just go ahead and put it into small chunks so that you can have a reasonable goal with that. And it says also keep your plans kind of concrete by having a journal. And if you have do like a food diary or exercise journal, that helps you see where you've been, and also it kind of keeps us more accountable, because if we're writing it down, we're actually looking at it and thinking about it a lot more. And if we have to write down that we ate 5 pieces of chocolate or 2 candy bars, it's a little bit harder, and sometimes makes me stop, you know, makes us so we make another decision. And finally, expect to revert to your old habits, like we were talking about just a little bit ago. That does happen, but pick up your resolution again within a day or two, and because that is achievable, and that's something we need to do to take good care of ourselves. So one thing Mayo Clinic says, 4 ways to reach and maintain the New Year's resolutions: track your daily activities like we talked about, and move more. Even if we're, you know, actually moving doesn't mean that we have to go lift weights every day, that we have to go to exercise classes, even though I do believe those are great motivators, and that's something that keeps me accountable. But taking the stairs every day instead of taking the elevator, parking your car further away from the front door of the hospital or your place of work really helps me. I actually park clear at the end of the parking lot because that gives me just that much more exercise. And it's like we talked about, make one change at a time. Don't try to have a whole list of resolutions. And when you're faced with setbacks, you know, plan on starting up again another day. So good luck with your resolutions. I'm going to work on mine and make a list and try to be accountable. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Hello, I'm Trisha Wilder, and I am hosting the Winter Break Craft Fair at the Central Iowa Fairgrounds this Saturday, February 20th from 10 to 4. We will also have the Animal Rescue League out here. They will bring some of their animals, including the Kicks Critters of the Week. They will have some other adoptable animals and information for you as well. They do need more volunteers. The American Legion will also be out here serving pulled pork sandwich meals all day. This is to fundraise so that they can purchase a Zoom account for the Legion and all of its members, so they don't have to leave their home to attend meetings when it's not safe or the weather's not nice. We do have 38 vendors signed up for this event. All of your favorite brand vendors like Paparazzi, Pink Zebra, Tupperware, Tastefully Simple. We have 31 gifts and several others, including Color Street and Paparazzi. Other vendors that we have will be local vendors, handmade vendors. We have a local winery coming to visit us from out of town. Mississippi Suds homemade soaps. They have several different scents and styles. Stwally's Bees will be here with their honey and honey products. We also have several artists, everything from clothing, paintings, home decor, handmade wood art. Just about everything you can imagine you're going to be able to find here that's handmade, vendor made, and also all your favorite brands. Like I said, we have 38 vendors coming in total. There will be food, there's popcorn. You can come pet some animals and say hi to them while you're visiting, keep your kids busy. And again, we'll be here from 10 to 4 this Saturday at the Central Iowa Fairgrounds in the activity building. If you have any questions, you can call 641-351-9181. You can also visit us on Facebook at Wildcard Events, Wild with an E like Oscar Wilde. And you can also email us at wildcardevents@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Michelle Roseborough Halverson with the Historical Society of Marshall County. Long time no see, everybody. Well, even though we have been closed to the public and continue to be until further notice, I miss you all. I want to have events. We want to give programs and tours. But there are some things going on. One of the things, you're going to see some workmen at the Maury Irvine Mansion this spring. They will be installing protective storm windows over the stained glass. So no storms allowed until that occurs. So we're pretty excited about that effort. The other thing that's been happening is after the tornado, the Conservation Center in Chicago, which is also currently taking care of the Fisher Governor Foundation collection of Impressionist paintings, took all of our tornado-affected material out of the Sauer House and primarily the museum. And finally, all of that is home. It's in safe storage. And as we are starting talks about building a new museum where we'll have some place to display these things, they've all been treated and professionally cleaned and cared for, and we're really excited about it. Although I don't have anywhere to put this country school curtain. If anybody was at that program or happened to see that in the museum, it's quite large. If you have a 17-foot climate-controlled storage space, I would love to know about it. Give me a call. Other things that are happening, the State Historical Society of Iowa has found an intern for us that is going to be working on interpretive panels and some other projects for the Matthew Ito Blacksmith Shop. So I'm just starting to work with Autumn Polly, who is a student at Iowa State University, and we will have more to report about that hopefully soon. The Blacksmith Shop will be open as far as we know, for its regular season between Memorial Day and Labor Day this summer. So take your mask to Haverhill in May. Until next time, stay warm.